Hi, I'm Paula. Welcome to my studio. Today, as you saw, I'm going to be playing with clay. I need to buy more clay. But I'm going to do three very, I think, simple projects. We'll see. And I also picked these projects because I think all of them would make really nice gifts, and all of them could be useful for yourself too. So let's get to it.
So here's my clay and my now trusted tools, which I know now are not really clay tools, but more like modeling. But who cares? They're helping me. My first project is a small photo holder, and I'm gonna have to stop here and cut a lot of footage and cut back to here, where I've already destroyed my working surface and my hands are covered in clay. Why? Because what I was starting to do there is make something really simple, really complicated. And I promised easy things to do with clay. So what I'm doing here is just a simple semicircle, and I'm doing a rainbow. It's not perfect, it's kind of rough, but I'm going to make it simple, just make a little slit on it, and that is done. Doesn't get easier than that. I'm going to set it aside, and after I'm going to show you how I paint it, and you'll see what a wonderful, beautiful gift this could be. Opening my new package of clay that I had to run and get, and onto my second project, which I wanted it to be a brush stand, or a pen or pencil stand for that matter, because things are always rolling off my desk, so I think this is actually really useful. I'm fidgeting with the clay, trying to decide what to do, and that looks like a seal. But I didn't feel like making a seal because that did seem complicated. So I thought a duck, and then no, I'm making a little bird. A little bird is easy, it's just one whole shape. I am not gonna attach the beak separately, I'm just gonna form it out because I have a bad history with attaching things to clay. And I think this way it's gonna be easier for me to make it smoother. The only thing I am adding is the two little balls for the eyes, and I already made the sockets with my tool, and that's it. Again, this was really fast and easy. It's a beautiful thing. It's something you can do more than one of. If you want to have them as gifts, you can do a lot. For the previous one, you could do a lot and have them as placeholders, and it won't take hours. So project number 2, let's set it to the side to dry, and here we go with project number 3. Okay, this one I found on Pinterest, and I thought it was going to be super cute to make, and it looks simple enough. You just have to roll things and make it like knots, and then place a candle in the middle. So this is my first try at it, and I'm going to try and do a faux knot. And how I'm doing it is I have my candle, and I'm just going to roll this thick strips of clay around it until I have an aesthetic and pleasing shape. And I think I had it. It was looking nice. But then I started to try to join all of these pieces of the clay by scraping and pasting and whatever. And now, while editing, I think that's when I ruined it. And it wasn't my favorite. So I fidgeted around with it a lot, as you can see. And this is what I came up with. I left it there because I didn't want to ruin it even more. And then I tried the second method where I actually did some longer strips, and then I'm making like a real knot with them. So I'm actually gonna cross them and put my candle in the middle and then entangle all of these ropes to create real like knots. This version was much easier and faster, let me tell you. And I think the result is so much better. After I had all my pieces in place, I made sure that my candle would fit. And I also picked up the trick that if you take a damp sponge, you can make the surface of your clay smoother and nicer. So I went over the whole thing with that and just, made it a little bit better, and that was it. I really, really, really love how this second knot looks. I also made it so that the candle would stand a little bit higher and I would have a different height and they would look better as a set. So here's the last of my clay molding, and I had to let them dry until the next day. But it wasn't the next day, it was 2 days after because they wouldn't dry. In fact, they're still a little bit wet, but my other little pieces are ready to go, and you know what that means. Let's paint. I know that the painting is also going to be simple, but it's going to make them so magical and so pretty. This is a really easy craft. For my rainbow, I decided to go the monochromatic route, which is kind of weird for a rainbow, but bear with me. I decided to do it all in like blues and teals and greens. And then I just painted the bottom for it to be like well finished, then a little heart in the middle, and then I just took my Posca markers when all of that was dry and added little details. I did the same thing on both sides, and that's it. So easy and so pretty. This would make a wonderful gift with a special picture on it. And onto my bird. This little bird I decided to sand because I just remember sanding is supposed to make it smoother. And after cleaning it up, I decided to use the leftover paint from my rainbow so it's the same color. I'm gonna let it dry and wash my hands because I'm getting paint all over everything. And with my now super clean hands, I'm gonna start painting in the details like a lighter beak, painting the eyes black, and I'm adding a little wing to the side and a tiny little heart as well. I did the same thing or the same design on both sides. I just gave it a speckle of white in the eyes for a little shine and gave it a little pink chick with the Posca. That's it for the birds, super easy. And now for my two candle holders. I was toying with the idea of painting them, but I decided I like the natural look best, so I just sand them a bit and they're ready. I'll show you how they look from the front with the candles at the end of the video, but before that, we are back to where it all started. And now, after I have shown you 3 easy, really easy things you can do with clay, let me show you how I complicate one of these easy things. I started doing the photo holder and it was just going to be a little star standing there, but I made it too thin, so I decided it needed a base. And with that idea came the idea of designing a whole sculpture and having another larger star join this small one so I can hold 2 pictures. So here I am making this large star, and I follow the same process as with the first one or as with the rainbow. I do my shape, I make a slit or a cut on the top so I can put the pictures on and smooth it all out with my sponge. After I had the 2 stars, I decide that this star, I'm gonna call it Sparky, is really happy and joyful, and what it does is it vomits rainbow paint, and that rainbow paint is gonna be the base where these 2 stand. So here I am rolling out some clay. I didn't have a rolling pin, so I just used whatever I had in here in the studio. And I'm creating the part that's gonna spit out of his mouth and the base where it all lands. Needless to say, this took a while, and this is why I destroyed my working surface and my hands look the way they did at the beginning of the video when I was only just supposed to be making something super easy and simple. So here I am struggling with clay again, trying to make this idea work. And if you want to see me either get better with time or struggle some more, don't forget to subscribe because I'm trying new things or new ideas every single week, and you can see where my mind goes. I'm really making an effort to score both pieces of clay so this time they'll stick together. I haven't had that much luck with that on the past, so I'm really working on that. And for the small star, I'm even adding a little toothpicks so it will stick to the base. Okay, my whole little sculpture to hold pictures is ready, and I set it to the side to dry while I leave this destruction behind me. 2 days after, as you know, everything was dry, and the little star did not hold on. It fell, even with all the measures I took, but that's okay. I think it was easier to paint that way. So I start with my large star, and I wanted it to be yellow, and then the small one with a different tone of yellow, so they are not exactly the same. It's Sparky and Twinkle, so they're different, and they're friends. I decided to change the color on Sparky because I want that rainbow that it spits out to be bright instead of muted, so I want to use that yellow in the rainbow. And let me tell you, for the whole video or filming process, my head is so in the way that I have really small footage of me actually painting. It's all my head since it was so tiny and I wanted it to be precise. It's my head, my head, my head. But I did manage to get some little shots where my hairs are not in, and I'm showing you how I'm going through the rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and of course at the end purple, and how it spills out to the base. Once I finished painting everything, I was ready to glue Twinkle back on. So I bring out my hot glue gun as always and put it in place. And after that, I decide to work on the faces of my characters. Sparky is so happy, throwing up colors everywhere. And you know what? Twinkle is enjoying it too. He's happy, he's bright-eyed and happy. And this is it. That's my second photo holder. Let me show you all of the projects I did today. Here are my candle holders. And as you can see, the large and second one that I did looks much better than the first one. I really like how that one turned out, and it was so much easier. And here is my first photo holder that literally I think it takes total 15 minutes, and my brush rest. Here are some brushes, and you can see it works perfectly. I'm gonna make some space to add my little photo holder sculpture, and let's put some pictures on that one too. And since I only have 2 pictures here in the studio, I decided to add a card because I think you could also use it to display that. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know if you think any of these would be easy and if you are gonna try them. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye!